For making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
In the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bob.
And like every Thursday for the last 15 years, the OD is in your ears. You wake up this morning, good morning to you. I imagine one day we won't be here. We won't be able to give it all. We would only want to do this if we can't cheat the radio show, but lucky for you guys, today ain't that day. What's up? Good morning to you. It's the opening drive. Lucky for you guys. You guys didn't watch the ESPYs, huh? You didn't catch that?
Didn't catch it.
Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. That was LeBron telling everybody that he's not retired. Lucky for you guys, today's not the day I'm retiring.
Thanks, because we were really worried about that.
Figured, gosh, LeBron might get introduced by his wife, who rightfully so called him the GOAT. And LeBron went up there, and I'm not even sure they gave him, I guess they did give him something. And he got honored for breaking the all-time scoring mark and told us, lucky for us. Was that written? Was that sarcastic? Was it, you didn't see that line?
I saw the line.
Lucky for you guys. Today's not that day. You get more of me.
Because we were worried about you retiring.
I'm like, come on, man. So sometimes he's as cringy as Russell Wilson. Am I wrong?
He's worse.
Oof.
He's worse, man. When he says that we have to respect him, like, come on, kid. It doesn't go down like that.
I saw in your notes. That's the line you got out of it, right? Was you got to respect him? That you will respect me whether you like me. He's like, a lot of you love me, some of you hate me, and you got that face.
Respect my authority,
but you will respect me. It's like, huh? I respect his game. Everybody respects his game. Is anybody not respect his game? There's nobody who doesn't respect his game, right?
The actual basketball playing is, you have to respect that. But part of the game, though, is recruiting players on the offseason, making his decision. I mean, if you lump that into the game, I don't really respect it, to be honest.
Is he the most unlikable, potential greatest player of all time ever?
Barry Bonds is right there.
A lot of people kind of indifferent on that whole
You think
thing.
so?
Well, when it just comes, they don't care about who Barry Bonds was necessarily. In the locker room to reporters, it's that whole era for, I think some people is, all right, like everyone was doing it, whatever.
Okay. I would put him up there, but maybe OJ. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, OJ still should probably be up there amongst the greatest running backs ever. He probably isn't the most likable, but yes. Would you say the most unlikable?
Yes.
I mean, it seems like you're on that train.
Yes.
Boy, those lights, are those new? Those lights that are above your head that are like really bright when I look over there?
Yes.
Anyway.
Let me see what I can do.
No, you're good. I mean, I just noticed them yesterday.
He's got a shine.
He quite the shine. Do you think he's the most unlikable?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, I do. I absolutely do.
Good morning to you. Those of you who missed the ESPYs, did you guys watch the ESPYs? I actually thought the ESPYs were really well done. You're always going to come away. This is the ESPYs, right? There's going to be a social message to it that some of you are going to say, just give me my sports. And the answer to that is, you always saying, if there's a stage, and in fact, there's a stage, right, for athletes to speak, this is the night. This is the night you're basically putting athletes on a stage and giving them a mic, right? I mean, they're going to speak. And so, wow, that's totally different. All right. You okay with that?
I'm good. Actually, this is preferable.
All right. There was the social issues. The women's soccer team got honored with the Arthur Ashe Award for courage for fighting for equal pay. There were some good stories. The pitcher for the Chicago White Sox fighting back from stage 4 lymphoma, and there were some really good stories on there. I think they do that show well, and they didn't have a host yesterday. Got a whole lot of Livy Dunn. She might as well have been the host. You guys you caught none of it? All right. And you caught none of it too, probably? All right. It was interesting. If you did, what we're talking about, LeBron James towards the end, they kept teasing. And coming up, LeBron James and LeBron James and LeBron. Like, what are they honoring LeBron James for? Oh, yeah, he broke the all-time scoring mark. And his wife, Savannah, came out with their kids. And Savannah spoke about how hard he works and how he is the greatest of all times. She should say that. Some people I heard had a problem that you shouldn't have the wife come out and do that introduction. I actually had no problem with that. I have no problem. I almost think that was an opportunity to humanize him and his family. And I think it was beautiful to have a moment with your family on the stage when you're getting recognized for being the all-time leading scorer. Like that actually that was really, I thought that was really cool. And I have no problem with what the wife said. The wife, of course, is going to say he is a great dad and he works harder than anyone and he is the GOAT and he is the greatest. And God bless her. She should say that. Stand by your man, like, and I know she believes that, and it's beautiful. And LeBron came up and his message to the basketball fraternity, part of it, one thing you'll always do is respect me. And he let everyone know that, listen, you can love me, and I know some of you hate me as well, but one thing you will always do is respect me and appreciate the way I approach the game and what I've given this game. End quote. And DC, you wrote on the notes today, do you respect LeBron James? And it's interesting that you phrased it that way. Do you respect LeBron James?
There are things I respect about him, but as a whole, no.
You don't respect him as a person?
No.
Fair enough. You respect his game?
Yes.
Okay. Where do you think the answer to most of this lies? Because you're the one who said that, and I didn't even think of it this way.
I can't say I don't respect LeBron James. Like, you can be cringeworthy, but to me, that's not. I think that's like saying that about someone. To me, even though it's a public figure, is like he did something that was wrong, and we should dislike him for, as opposed to just not liking his antics.
So, such a simple question is such a complex answer with this particular individual. As he said last night, he said, after the season, I thought about retiring, and he says, honestly, I've thought about it for the last bunch of years. If I'm going to cheat the game, then I'm not going to play this game. And one thing I'll always do is give it my all, and I won't cheat this game. And his speech was about how much he respects the game, whether he's coaching his kids or whether he's playing. And he's thought about it. He just never went public with it. And then he said to the crowd, in the day that I can't give it my all, and the day I'm going to cheat the game is the day I'm going to retire. And he says, lucky for you guys, today isn't that day. Okay, it's cringeworthy. I respect LeBron James. Now, I'm not, JJ knows this, I'm not a LeBron James fan.
Because I think there's things that when you're speaking publicly as much as he does, you're going to dislike what he does. But I can't say I don't respect him, because he does do a lot of the stuff that at a high level superstar, the extra, that's great. But when it comes to public comments, him trying to get everyone to like him, that's dislikable.
So this is why I respect him. And because I agree with you. I think he does do good things in the community that matters to him. Okay. In the underprivileged community. And I have no reason to believe that he's not giving all the millions of dollars that he does to the community, the schools in Akron, to in Cleveland, to what he's doing in Los Angeles. He doesn't have to do that. He does that. And they make sure you know about it, but that's fine. But the fact that he is making a difference in his community, I do respect that. I cringe when he gets in front of a mic. Now, Tom Brady and Derek Jeter probably were in front of a mic as much as he is. They said nothing ever, and it was a lot less cringy. He tries to be an activist. He wants to be Ali, right? And I don't know if it's the times. Do you think it's the time? Like, how would Ali be received today? As Ali was received then? Because he's loved now, but was hated by half, if not more than half the population back when he was being Ali, right?
I think to what we're talking to is someone like LeBron James, as much as he's out there and he's trying to get people to like him, I think some people believe that he's not sincere.
Yes.
And a lot of it.
No, 100%.
And so even when you talk about the stuff that he does, people just don't believe it.
I think that's right. A lot of it is off the cuff, insincere. Like even yesterday's delivery was just like, come on, man. Like it was
no one thinks you're retiring, man.
It was right. There's so much. I think the word you just used, insincere, is so when you're crafting an image, right? And he's been working on crafting his image for 20 something years, correct?
Since he was 16, pretty much.
There's got to be a believability and a likability to it. And I'll go back to Shaq again, right? I thought Shaq used the media to his advantage as well as any athlete in my time. Ken Griffey Jr. even did, right? Obviously, Tom Brady did, and without really doing anything. Patrick Mahomes is doing it, right? I mean, do you feel like there's a sincerity that you kind of, even though we know none of these guys, we don't know any of them. You feel like you kind of know what Patrick Mahomes is all about? You kind of feel like you do, don't you?
Yes, I that genuine nature.
You feel like it now, even though that you're not sure, but you think that.
Correct.
Yeah. And that's what you, to JJ's point, the insincerity. The other part of it is, I'm not telling you LeBron James is not a smart man. I'm not telling you. I'm gonna maybe lean on he might not be as smart as he thinks he is. All right, just because you have a lot of money doesn't make you really, really bright and make your opinion on everything. And this doesn't just go to LeBron James now, right? He's got a ton of money, dude. Now, did he make that money because he's smart? He's smart that he surrounded himself with a lot of really good people that have helped him, and he's insanely good at basketball. So he's made a lot of money on his brand, and I respect that. I'll go back to the respect, but I think that's where it sounds like where you're coming in, DC, and even JJ, where some of the stuff he says without knowing the facts comes across as you said, insincere and not incredibly well thought out sometimes.
I've always kind of gone with respect is earned. And so when he tells me I have to respect him,
100%.
That just rubs me the wrong way.
You don't have to be saying that at this point in time, LeBron James.
Yeah,
exactly. He puts his foot in his mouth more than anyone I could think of.
Yes. Well, you've heard me say this a million times too. And I know I got a bunch of sayings after 15 years of doing this. But in my life, the people who are really good haven't had to tell me how good they are. You know, the people who are really, really good at whatever it is, they don't have to tell me that they're really good. You know it.
Yeah, don't talk about it, be about it.
And he doesn't have to tell me how good he is. Now, it's cool that his wife does. I have no problem with the whole wife. I know a lot of people are just beating up on Savannah yesterday and what she said and how she said. I got zero problem with the wife coming out with that introduction. None.
She never says anything. So
no, I didn't even know what her voice sounded like. Like I got zero problem with that. The kids, I think that had the opportunity to be a great moment. And JJ, to your point, if there was some humility, he could have turned a lot of people last night. If he'd have said, I hope you respect the way I play the game, not you will respect me. If he said, I understand there's a lot of people who don't like me and you know, I've tried to mature over the years, whatever. The message was, I respect the game. I will never cheat the game. Okay, cool. You know what? I know we're late for the break. JJ, when I was watching it and I was cringing, okay, and I was watching it live, and I'm like, okay, am I a hater? Like because I anticipated this guy. I anticipate, you know, Edward, who he's a caller to the show. He calls every once in a while. He loves LeBron, right? He just swings on it. And he's going to tell me how great LeBron is. And I'm going to see the memes today. LeBron this over Jordan this. Can you imagine Michael Jordan doing that? Is that a speech? Is that a moment Michael Jordan ever would have had?
Oh, no. He was very aware of everything he said.
Now, does that make him a greater basketball player? It doesn't. But to one of your points, and I think it was yours on the respect, does the off-court persona play in a GOAT in this whole? And we're not going Michael versus LeBron today. I refuse. But does that play into it? Does that factor into it?
It affects people's opinions. Yes,
well, 100%.
Yes,
should it factor into the GOAT conversation?
It does by default.
I think you're right. All right, if you saw it, I'd love your thoughts. I'm not. We're not playing LeBron versus Mike today. We're not. But if you saw the ESPYs, your boy Jamal Murray got Comeback Player of the Year. Chiefs got Team of the Year. Or was it LSU? LSU basketball. I think might have. There was some good stuff in there. We'll go there. 505-246-0610. I want to get into some of the Big 12 expansion conversation. And when we come back, I want to a little bit more on the LeBron conversation and what you think of it. And another thought on how can you play the media, and can he play the media, or is it too late? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM or AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Makes a little sports analysis, pop culture, and
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out. What is it? It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
More. This is all from different people on the text line, which is 505-246-0610. LeBron and his family's self-gloss on him being the GOAT was despicable. The whole putting an imaginary crown on his head turns my stomach. Have some humility. You're not Ali. He did, at the end of the thing, as he walked off, he did put the crown on his head. He did that. Yeah.
I'm never going to get mad at someone if their family's hyping them up.
No. He did that.
I know, but just in there in the moment, like
I won't get mad at the family either. See, I will disagree with that texter where if you're going to have the family come out and do the intro, which in this case you can have the conversation whether or not they should have. But I thought it was it was a potentially cool moment. You know,
like if you're mad at his wife or his family and they're doing too much, that's a time where, you know what, let's pause and step away for a second. Let's all take a deep breath. Watch some tennis this morning. Get our minds off it.
Yeah. We've got Leona versus Vondrastova or something. Yeah, he did at the end. You guys, so you got to watch the speech. Because at the end he kind of did a sign off, then he had to do one more sign off, and then he did kind of an out, and he put the crown on his head, the imaginary crown on his head, and walked off. All right, winners last night. Best championship performance. This was one of the toughest categories for me. I thought it would go to Jokic. It went to Lionel Messi from Argentina in the World Cup Finals, which was really good. I mean, it was a hard one to argue. John Jones, Albuquerque, New Mexico, won Best UFC Fighter. Comeback athlete was Jamal Murray. I thought that was good. Best men's athlete, Patrick Mahomes. Best women's athlete, Michaela Schifrin, skiing. Best breakthrough athlete was interesting. There was no way Caitlin Clark could win that, right? If Angel Reese was nominated. That would have been interesting. But it was Angel Reese from LSU. Best play. Do you remember the play? So I thought the best play was going to be, what are the nominees? It was there was a great soccer goal. There was it Michael Block, the golfer that we'll never hear from again?
Oh, the hole in one?
Yeah. Yeah. The Justin Jefferson catch, and there's another great play on there. Justin Jefferson's catch won it. That was pretty cool. Record-breaking performances, LeBron. Best college athlete, Caleb Williams from USC. There was, they broke it down by each sport too. Arthur Ashe Award for Courage was the U.S. women's soccer team. Jimmy V Award for Perseverance. Liam Hendricks, really good story there. Oh, the greatest moment of the night. You guys didn't see any of this. It bums me out a little bit. This was really cool. Am I too much on this? If I am, I'll steer me.
It's okay.
They brought DeMar Hamlin on. The Pat Tillman Award for Service went to the Buffalo Bills training staff.
That was a great moment.
And the whole story behind it, and the guy who spoke was the head of the training staff. Like, wow. And my daughter was watching. She just got back home, and so she kind of watched that part of it. And like she sat there in awe, and she's like, Dad, I remember that game. I remember we were sitting right here and watched that, and we thought he was going to die. And yeah, like that was the moment. I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. All right, 505-246-0610 if you want to get in on any of it. 888-922-0610. But lucky for you guys, today's not the day. We're still here. Media days are going on. When's Conference USA next week too? I believe it is, right? I want to. Where do you think? Have you seen any of the magazines? Where's New Mexico State in Conference USA? Where do you think they're going to be? Are they going to get too much respect, too little respect?
Middle of the pack.
Okay. I don't even know who I think is going to be. Maybe Middle Tennessee. Middle Tennessee, Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky, by the way, is kind of a sneaky good one. It is Western Kentucky. So it's Western. Oh, then Liberty. Western Kentucky, Liberty. This is an Athlon. Middle. And New Mexico State is fourth. So right in the middle of the pack. Ahead of UTEP. Should they be ahead of UTEP? They beat you. UTEP beat them last year, but they went to a bowl game. UTEP was 5-7. I don't know if I think they're better than UTEP. I don't know that I think they're not. UTEP's got Gavin Hardison back. That's going to be when they play on a Wednesday night in October on national TV. That'll be the battle of two New Mexico Military Institute alumni quarterbacks, Pavia versus Hardison. Two New Mexico born and bred quarterbacks anyway. I don't know. I don't know who I think is if they are better or not. There's 9 teams in Conference USA this year. And the Aggies are picked to finish fourth, which would make me think they probably got them going to a bowl game, don't you think?
That is close to bowl game territory.
Yeah. I got in Athlon, it's Western Kentucky, Liberty, Middle Tennessee, New Mexico State, Louisiana Tech, and UTEP. As far as the Mountain West polls, which will come out, and that's going to be, when do we usually get them? We get them the day it all starts.
Yeah, we'll get them next week.
Okay. We had Phil Steele on last week, and he didn't really get into his predictions, but I told DC I've been going to this thing for, I don't know, however many years. I've never been to a Mountain West Media Day with Boise State in the league. They weren't predicted first. Have you?
Get a lot.
Have you ever seen a poll that they're not first?
I don't recall one.
I don't think there's ever been one. Boise State is picked first. Do you know what year is this? 2023. When was the last time Boise State won a Mountain West title, even though they're picked first every year? Any idea?
When was it?
2019. They lost a conference championship game last year, but they're picked at the top. They've got Taylor Green at quarterback. They kind of remember they lost to UTEP. That of everything that was like stunning in football season last year. That Friday night.
Well, it
was right after UTEP lost here.
Yeah, they got at UTEP. It was they needed 11, they got 11. They needed 12, they got 12.
Yeah, UTEP lost here to the Lobos and pumped Boise State, and that was the quarterback that left. Hank Blameyer? No, that's not right. Bachmeyer. Blameyer was their athletic director. All right, so they got Boise State, Air Force, Fresno State, San Diego State. You had it differently, didn't you? You had San Diego State in front of Fresno, I believe. San Jose State 5, Wyoming 6, UNLV all the way up at 7. Does that surprise you?
No.
New coach. They fired Marcus Arroyo. They started 4-1, fired Marcus Arroyo. Then they finished 1-6 the rest of the way. Barry Odom's the new coach, a Midwest guy, not a flashy guy. Met him briefly at the league meetings. I mean, nice guy, not a flashy guy, but a guy with a good track record. He develops talent. And they got a quarterback if Brumfeld stays healthy, right? Because he could be.
Because you get
as good
to
as
that part of the Mountain West Conference.
Yeah.
And you're just throwing darts who's healthy, who hit in the transfer portal, who's developing a quarterback.
You don't know. Well, I mean, San Diego State's quarterback could develop. Is Chevin Cordero the biggest name quarterback returning?
Yes.
And Taylor Green at Boise State, right? The rest of the Mountain West Athlon predictions, this is just a poll. And what the Big 12 said about expansion, because this does regard San Diego State, which then does regard the Mountain West, and what they said, what their commissioner said yesterday as media days began in the Big 12. We'll do that when we come back. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. 888-922-0610. The show is simulcast on Comcast Channel 26. Adrian's producing for you on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM, and on the YouTube channel for ProView Network, so you can watch there and enjoy the show that way and take a look. You're in your vehicle, most likely. Good chance you are. At some point you are. It's one of your biggest investments, right? How's it looking? That's what I thought. It makes sense. You protect it, take care of it. And that's why I continue to suggest to you that you call On the Spot Automotive Detailing. They're the best because they do a whole lot more than detailing your vehicle, although they do that as well as anybody. They come to you when it's convenient for you, where it's convenient for you, and they detail your vehicle. So while you're at work, you don't have time, I don't have time, they get it. That's why they do this. They come to you and detail your vehicle. Their ceramic coating and paint protection film can help maintain your car and keep it looking new. No more water, dirt, mud, none of those stains. They got a protective layering that helps prevent UV oxidation damage from this insanely intense New Mexico sun. And to top it off, they also offer window tinting services to keep your car cooler, and they offer lifetime warranties. Book online, get all your info online. It's otsdetailing.com. On the Spot Automotive Detailing at otsdetailing.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future and get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination.
Big 12 Media Days underway. No Bedlam, which I think is a bummer. Let's do a big. There's a lot of stuff coming out of there. I'll get to that. And what's so many of you are Big 12 fans too, right? Whether you're fans of the teams leaving but are still there, be it teams coming or the teams staying, this part of the country, there's a lot of Big 12 interest. But I'm giving you the preseason rankings on Mountain West football according to Athlon, and you'll get your official polls coming out next Wednesday. We're in Vegas. Boise State, Air Force, Fresno State, San Diego State are 1, 2, 3, 4. San Jose State, Wyoming, UNLV, and Utah State 5, 6, 7, 8. Colorado State 9, Hawaii 10, Nevada 11, and the Lobos 12. Athlon says about the Lobos fixing an offense that averaged only 3.94 yards per play and failed to score more than 21 points in the Mountain West game last year. Top list of offseason priorities for Coach Danny Gonzalez. Lobos hope a handful of transfers, including UAB quarterback Dylan Hopkins, who was here yesterday, and a new coordinator help to jumpstart this anemic group. The defense is also under construction with just 2 returning starters. Gonzalez has a couple of proven defenders in the secondary, Tavian Combs and Dante Martin. But the front and linebacker unit were hit hard by departures. All right. I mean, none of that's not true, right?
That's correct.
None of it's not true. Who do you and I know we'll feel differently when we're there. Is there somebody that in the bottom half? So from, let's say, UNLV down, UNLV, Utah State, Colorado State, Hawaii, Nevada, New Mexico, you think big improvement? Logic would tell you Colorado State, right?
Colorado State, I think Jay Norvell, year two, a lot of people like Clay Millen, their quarterback. They do have the best wide receiver in the conference in Horton. He could be that
Torrey
guy.
Horton, yeah.
So that could be huge. In
How do they keep
their
getting
offense.
great receivers, man?
Yeah, they get dudes.
Higgins, Gallup, Horton.
Like next level receivers. Because last year the Rams were 3-5 in the conference.
Lost some tight ones.
UNLV would be in there.
So I guess I'm a little slow on the up on UNLV and why they were 4-1. It's not like they were beating the world, right? They fire their coach after finishing 1-6. They get a new coach. Brumfield has really struggled staying healthy. They got a good receiver in Ricky White. New offensive coordinator. I don't know.
It's no different than New Mexico.
No, 100%. And I'm not sitting here telling you I think New Mexico's won the league. You would say they're further ahead of New Mexico, wouldn't you?
Maybe just looking at the teams that were 3 wins or less. I don't think Nevada is going to have a big turnaround.
Yeah,
so your options are like Colorado State, New Mexico, and UNLV.
So why going to be any better?
I just think that's a long road.
They were better down the stretch, but it was Nevada and UNLV that they beat coming home. They're going back to the run and shoot, right? How's his quarterback, Braden Shager? Is he going to be? We'll see. But they lost a lot of playmakers, right? Their best running back's gone. They've got a line that's got to be put back together. We'll see. All right. The big news coming out of Big 12 yesterday was their commissioner saying we're not expanding. That we have no need to expand right now. And that kind of shuts down the San Diego State thing, right? To the Big 12. Did it surprise you the turn when Brent Yormark has been so vocal? Because it kind of did me. That he's been so vocal about we want to be in all 4 time zones, that we're open for business, all that talk, and then yesterday's message was, yeah, we're not open for business right now.
Well, I'm not listening to anything that anyone's saying
and taking
as, well, this is a direction it's heading. That means that this is stopping. I mean, if you're just sitting here, July 12th, July 13th, and not worried about movements now, that's understandable. But the phone calls, the emails, the text messages, it's not slowing down, because the one thing I think the Big 12 is going to do, it's not necessarily worrying about Colorado or this. I think their biggest play would be if they got Gonzaga and UConn.
100%.
And then they could really just, we are the best basketball conference in the United States, and that does matter. I know not to the same extent as football when it comes to negotiating television rights deal. You get teams in the NCAA tournament, they go on runs, that's still money and exposure.
Yeah, I think the Gonzaga UConn thing is still really big on their list. Now, both of them are super outliers geographically. I mean, super outliers geographically. Gonzaga's closest school would be Iowa State, right? UConn's would be West Virginia. But I don't think anybody cares. Get on a plane and go. I thought some of the comments coming out yesterday, it's such a bummer. Right? If you're an Oklahoma State fan, I know BV went to Oklahoma State. Those of you who love that rivalry, gone. Quote from Mike Gundy, the head coach at Oklahoma State. In football, Bedlam is history, in my opinion, end quote. First of all, it's the best name for rivalry. Better than the Big Game or the Iron Bowl or you got a better one? Bedlam's great.
The world's largest cocktail party.
That's actually pretty good too. But now they're saying you can't
use shootout either anymore.
You can't use
shootout. It used to be the
Red River Shootout. Yeah, but this is better than that anyway.
Really?
You don't think so? I think it was. I mean, that's my opinion. But the world's largest cocktail party is pretty good, but they oh no, we don't call it that anymore. That's Georgia,
Bedlam.
Florida, and Jacksonville. Bedlam's great.
Backyard Brawl.
Backyard Brawl's good. Yeah, I like that one too. This sucks. Don't you think?
Yeah, and this is. I immediately looked at that and said, being bitter does no good. Just play the game. Whether your non-conference schedule, you don't want to play OU, you're going to play Southeast Oklahoma State instead. Like you're going to be like that guy.
Yeah.
And Gundy was trying to play. It ain't us. It ain't us. No, you're sitting there saying you're not playing that game just because they left the conference and it's their fault. Play a rivalry game. That's what your fans want to see.
Who's opting not to play? Are they both opting not to play a non-conference game? I mean, New Mexico and New Mexico State have done it for most part of 100 years.
Well, that's a good question. Did OU say they won't play this game? Because it came across too as.
Well, I'll read you the quote. Yeah.
Gundy was not open to playing it regardless.
Here's Mike Gundy. He's a man. He's 40. I think he's 50, 53. In football, Bedlam is history, in my opinion. OU chose to go to the SEC. When they did, they took Bedlam with them. Castiglione, Joe Castiglione is the athletic director of Oklahoma. Castiglione is a friend of mine. But when he and their president decided to go to the SEC, they took Bedlam with them. Do I like it? No, I like tradition. I like the Big 12. I like the old Big 8, the Big 8. I like rivalries. I like the things in college football that have been around forever, but that's not going to matter anymore. All those things are history, end quote. Oklahoma State's schedule is supposedly set through 2037. 2037, their non-conference stuff.
Never mind then.
He suggested that the SEC ever goes to a 9-game conference schedule, it wouldn't be smart, quote, from a business perspective for the SEC to schedule another Power 5 opponent. Nobody likes it, but Bedlam's out the window. That's what he said. The Big 12's, this is the Big 12's most played rivalry in terms of Big 12 teams now is Kansas State. They played 120 times. Bedlam was 117. I don't know whose fault it is. I don't know how you get out of contracts and buy your way out. And, would they have to, well, we got New Mexico coming in and, 2029 or whatever. And Colorado State's coming in 2031. I know that Florida and Florida State find a way to do it. Iowa and Iowa State find a way to do it. New Mexico and New Mexico State find a way to do it. Am I missing a few? Clemson and South Carolina find a way to do it.
This is where you need to realize that, fans, come on, they still need to matter. And buy your way out of a couple bye games. Put your rivalry on the schedule.
Right.
Like, being bitter does no good. Play the game. It's the same thing we were discussing here. Like, figure out a way to play twice New Mexico and New Mexico State in men's basketball because it matters.
Which, by the way, it looks like they figured it out.
Like, there's certain things, even in this world, where all they want you to know is, hey, as long as we got money, well, you still need something to care about.
Mm-hmm.
And you're losing things to care about even when you're a fan of these teams. Because, all right, that's cool. We were in a conference with a lot of money, but what am I excited about?
OU picked up a game against Vanderbilt. And Oklahoma State's playing Central Florida, but they're not playing each other. I can't agree with you more. At some point, this is a game that everybody associated with both programs loves. 117 years. But we're not going to play it. No, that doesn't make sense. Well, we're booked through. It's their fault. They left the league. I gave you, what I just give you, 5 rivalries that are non-conference rivalries that seem to play every year, right? Iowa State, Clemson, South Carolina, Florida State, New Mexico State. Didn't I give you another one? I mean, they figure it out, right?
Did you say 2037, by the way?
That's what
it is 2023.
Yeah.
And do you think that stuff ain't going to change by then? Like, the college football scheduling is insane.
What do you think's going to happen?
I mean, it's like, we can't do anything because we're booked out till 2037.
No. None of these people are going to be around in 2037. The head coaches aren't going to be the head coaches there. The ADs aren't going to be the ADs there. I mean, what do you care? But the fans are going to be around, right? The alumni is going to be around. They're the ones who give it to them. You're going to be on to your next job or retired or whatever. That's what I was saying about the Aggie-Lobo basketball rivalry, right? I mean, this is your damn rivalry. These coaches and ADs are all going to be gone onto something else here in pick your number of years. And who's going to be left holding the bag? You are. The ones who care. That's kind of what the deal is about. It sucks, man. It just, this one is a bummer. I firmly believe that. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. What about the great send-off, the championship, the great send-off in the Big 12? Who's going to win that? This coach says that's what we're doing. It's the great send-off championship. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Your favorite color, your favorite texture, you're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from U.S. Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust. And we think
a walk-off championship would be something, huh? The great send-off. Big 12 Media Days are today, not underway. Not since 2009 have expectations been so high for Texas. The Longhorns are the overwhelming favorite now to win the Big 12 this season, in their final season in the Big 12. And what Steve Sarkisian, their head coach, is asking, he wants it to be the great send-off season. Quote, "I'd be lying if I wasn't saying that I want to win a championship." There's no question, and I feel like I've had good teams in the past. I haven't been able to do it. When you get into coaching, I'm a highly competitive guy. I would love to win a championship. I would love to win a championship in our last year in the Big 12, end quote. Wouldn't every coach that we're going to talk to next week want to win a championship? Are they that much better than everybody else right now in that league?
No.
TCU just played a national championship game last year, right? Now, everybody feels TCU was like a one-off, fluky
some
thing.
regression there.
Well, they lose a quarterback. They had a lot of magic in that year. Like there was everything broke their way last year, except for the championship game where they lost 65-7. But everything broke their way for them to get there.
They lost the Big 12 title game.
They did lose the Big 12 title. Kansas State.
Kansas State beat them.
Yeah, Kansas State's pretty nice. Who else do you like in the Big 12? Because I'll pick Texas. I think it's about time.
I always got to look at Oklahoma. Lincoln,
Okay.
Brett Venables.
Yeah, Lincoln Riley's gone.
Lincoln Riley's at USC. Trying to play some defense on that team. I think Texas, fine with them being the favorite, but I don't think there's a large gap between Texas and everyone else.
Okay. I think Kansas State's going to be nice too. All right, when we come back, the beginning of the show, JJ asked the question: is LeBron James the most unlikable guy who's in a GOAT conversation? And I said, what about Barry Bonds? So Barry Bonds, you never hear from him. Well, he's not in the Hall of Fame, and his 10 years on the ballot has run out. Barry Bonds spoke this week on his thoughts on being excluded from the Hall of Fame. And however you feel on Barry Bonds, should he be in the Hall of Fame? What he thinks, what we think, and I'd love to hear what you think at 505-246-0610. But what Barry Bonds said this week, because you never hear from him. That's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Registration is now open.
Pitch. There's a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No! That's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. It's upstairs, goes to the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, LaCueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. As LaCueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman, quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch. And she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get one run back. That one sent on the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her! Whoa, what a play!
Next door or something. Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 runs.
AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Sparks that ignite to my intros. 10 parts. Might as well just blow.
That was Barry Bonds, the home run leader in baseball. He was on a podcast, Hollywood Swing, telling Stephen Bishop and Jerry Harrison Jr. that the whole situation of him being out of the Hall of Fame makes no sense. And we're going to hear that again. But and I'll call for it again, DC, please. But it kind of brings us full circle. We started the show today paraphrasing LeBron James last night when LeBron told the crowd, "Lucky for you, I'm still playing. I didn't retire." Basically, I mean, lucky for you, today's not the day. We've been doing this for 15 years, so lucky for you, today's not the day that we're out of here too. But JJ brought up a question. He said, "Is LeBron James the most unlikable player in sports that's been considered the GOAT?" And there's been some unlikable personalities, right? But I don't know. I think there's probably a lot of people who don't like Tom Brady. Do you agree with that? Not nearly as polarizing as LeBron, right?
Well, when you are the best at what you do,
yes,
there's always going to be a faction of people that don't like you because you win all the time. You're beating everyone's favorite team. But then there's the addedness where LeBron has not figured out if he wants to be the villain or the hero, and he tries to play both, and he can't play both.
Who doesn't like Michael Jordan?
Scottie Pippen.
Scottie Pippen. But there's people who think LeBron's better than Michael Jordan. But, I mean, who doesn't like Michael Jordan? Who doesn't like Babe Ruth? Oh, wait, that doesn't matter. That doesn't count. Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is a GOAT conversation. All right, so the conversation's a good one. But we're going to go into Barry Bonds because I brought up Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds has a list of accolades that, is insane. 22 years, he's the home run king in baseball. He hit more home runs, but many people don't recognize that. Barry Bonds is not in the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds' 10-year run on the ballot for the Hall of Fame has expired. He's been excluded from the National Baseball Hall of Fame. He opened up this week. When was the last time you heard Barry Bonds talk? Barry's kind of gone away, right?
Yeah, I haven't heard him in a long time.
He opened up. He was on that Hollywood Swinging podcast this week. And I'm going to ask you to play this again because he's fallen short in 10 years on the writer's ballot. He was denied entry into Cooperstown by the Contemporary Baseball Era Committee in a December vote. This is a group that consists of former players, MLB executives, media. There's a secondary route to the Hall of Fame for players who weren't on the ballot. But he's a seven-time MVP, dude. 7 out of his 22 years, he was the MVP. 14-time All-Star, 8-time Gold Glove winner, 762 home runs, almost 3,000 hits, 2935. He stole 514 bases. It's unbelievable. But his connection to performance-enhancing drugs ultimately kept him from getting into the Baseball Hall of Fame. I want to play this one more time. This is Barry Bonds talking about his exclusion. Before that, he said, sure, I'm human. I'm not some wall sitting up here who doesn't care. Sure, it bothers you. But at the same time, I also know who I am. Okay. He said, I appealed that charge and I won. I'm not under federal. I'm not a criminal of any kind. I'm not anything. Major League Baseball records are still there. And I try to tell everybody this. I don't care if they want to judge athletes on performance-enhancing drugs or not. It doesn't matter. Major League Baseball, and let's get this clearly and straight, has a rule. It has rules, okay? Whether they were broken or not broken, they were rules. Some rules. My era, there was no rules, end quote. And I don't know if that's him admitting what he did, but he says, why is the Hall of Fame punishing me? It doesn't make sense. Where are you guys on Barry Bonds? Should he be in the Hall of Fame?
When you read off those numbers, take away the name, of course it's Hall of Fame. It's just so... The PED thing is very troubling because he's right. At the time, it was Wild West. It felt like everyone was on something, and the game was benefiting from that. So I look back at all the guys that aren't in, and he's one that I think I probably would go the other way and put him in.
It's hard for me to wrap my mind around, all right, where do we say that this started and it ended? Is like no one that played from year X to year Z going to get into the Hall of Fame? You know, it was an era.
But that's not right, though. Big Papi's in. Fred McGriff just got in. I mean, look at
that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so why are we holding the select few as the poster child? And like, they can't get in. But we'll put some of these other guys in.
So in part because who's voting, and he was an a-hole to the people who are voting, and they don't like him. Okay, I firmly believe that's a part of it. Okay, which is a bad answer, but I believe it's part of the answer. I can't. I hate guys. Well, no, I don't. That's not right. I hate the guys cheated the game. I'm using LeBron stuff now. Do you believe they cheated the game if they used steroids, that they used in performance-enhancing drugs? Do you believe that's cheating the game? Because that's a fair argument. If everybody was doing it, were they cheating? If they were all doing it, I don't know. But your point is there's an era of baseball that guys are going in. Biggio and Bagwell are in. Fred McGriff's in. Big Poppy's in. So we're going to be selective.
And part of that is what you said. It comes down to the likability factor.
Oh, he's a jerk.
And to me, with the Hall of Fame, it's a yes or a no. It's
you and I are a little different on that. But
like,
yeah.
I think it's the yes or no. There's, you weight people's careers differently because there's not a perfect resume, but I don't like that. We can only vote for 10 here, and then let's push them on down the line. To me, it's you're Hall of Famer or you're not, regardless of how you get there.
Yeah, and I don't care if you're a first ballot or a 10th ballot. If you're in, you're in. I got a place in Cooperstown, New York, where I haven't been since I was 7 years old, and I really want to go back. So impressive, so incredible, and I can only imagine how it's changed over the years. But this place tells me the history of baseball, honors the best players that's ever played. I'm not a Barry Bonds fan, any more than attitudes to me. I mean, it's impression. It's what you think you know of a guy. I know 2 firsthand stories of the guy. I trust. But whatever. But he should be in the Hall of Fame. Because that whole era. Now, if he would have admitted what he does, and as I read you these quotes right now, did he admit it right there? I don't know that he admitted anything right there. Right? With this whole, whether they were broken or not broken, there were rules, some rules. My era, there were no rules. What does that mean? There were no rules, and I didn't break any rules? Because there were no rules. I don't even know what the hell it means. But you guys, Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer. Barry Bonds was as good as anybody we've ever seen. And if we believe the pitchers were on steroids, and we know they were, it's hard for me to sit here and condone it. And DC, I don't know if you've heard me say this before. JJ's heard this. I can't jump on this and beat guys up for taking steroids, because I can't sit here and tell you wholeheartedly 100% if I was sitting in a locker room back in those days that I wouldn't have done it. If I'm in the minor leagues and I'm as good as you, and all of a sudden I see you sticking a needle in your backside, and now you're in the big leagues making $5, $6, $7 million a year, I can't tell you I wouldn't do it. If I'm in the big leagues making $2, $3, $4 million a year, and you and I were as good as, I was better than you coming up, and now you're sticking a needle in your butt, and you're making $15 million, and you become better than me, I can't sit here in all honesty and tell you I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, I'm on the same page with you. When you look back at those times, it wasn't just 1 or 2 guys. You have the third baseman, just all of a sudden he's jacked. He went from a skinny guy to just a weightlifter, in one off season. Things like that. I'd love to hear what percentage of players were actually on.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. But was it 50?
I mean, I believe it was more. And there's nobody that'll surprise me, right? We all want to sit here and believe that out of that era, that Ripken, Gwynn, Griffey, Jeter, but those guys did it the right way. I mean, I imagine. But would it stun you if it came out that one or all of those guys did something to recover from an injury, to get strong or whatever? Would it stun you?
Not at all.
Hardly, right? Because that's the way it was. It was just the way it was accepted. It was, and by the way, nobody complained about it. That summer of whatever year it was it 94? No, it had to be after that. 90, I was here. I was at Channel 7. The McGuire-Sosa, was it 98?
I believe so.
The McGuire-Sosa home run race? It was unbelievable. Everybody was watching. And I don't think there was a damn person complaining about it then. So I'm not a Barry Bonds guy any more than I'm a LeBron guy. But I respect the game. And I respect the game. And do I like that he's the all-time home run king? More so than Hank Aaron? Or no, but he is. Do I like that LeBron James is the leading scorer instead of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? But he is. I mean, you got to respect the game. He's got to get in, right? So it's not the end, right? When it comes to being voted into the Hall of Fame, he's got to wait at least till 2026. The committee will look at this year. The committee looks at managers, executives, umpires. The following year will be dedicated to players who were on the field before 1980. So he'll have another shot to get onto the contemporary baseball ballot in 2026. He believes that he's going to make it into the Hall of Fame. And he said that he never got to stand as a Hall of Famer alongside late Willie McCovey, who once called Bonds' exclusion a sin. And there were other players that he idolized, but he's hopeful that his mom's going to see him. I don't know, man. I mean, at what point do you get over it? Haven't got over Pete Rose, have we?
No.
So the guy who's got the most hits in the history of the game and the guy who's got the most home runs in the history of the game are not in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. It's an interesting Hall of Fame. When you say it out loud like that, it's like, what?
Well, what's the game? Throw ball, hit ball,
right,
catch
exactly.
ball, right? And the guy who hit ball most and the guy who hit ball furthest most are not in the place that tells the story of the history of the game.
That just doesn't seem right.
If you want to tell me, fine. And this, you know where I'm on Pete Rose. I know we'll break. If you want to hit Bonds with the same thing, you're in the Hall, but you can't work in baseball, which I think nothing's been proven on him. Like he said, he's been 100% vindicated. Pete Rose, to me, should be in. He just can't work in baseball. And you put on his plaque why he was banned from baseball. Are you on that? I know we've had this conversation 1,000 times. Where are you with that one?
Are there things discussing those players in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, on the plaque, it's got a whole rundown of their career. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like it's.
Or then put up an exhibit why Pete Rose was banned from baseball. I'm fine with that.
Can't, it's one of the things you can't ignore.
Put your disgraced wing of the Hall, right? And
it's part of the story of the game.
It is. You know, put your steroid era or your PED era.
The Hall of Fame has to be spotless.
You know, put Curt Schilling's sock in there. Right. But I just don't know how you do it without those guys in. But that's where I know a lot of you feel strongly about that as well. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. How important is a star running back in the NFL? Giants might find out firsthand how important it is or is not. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored by eBay.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For a while, true to the game? Yeah, it was. LeBron said, you will respect me. And you guys are in it. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Jack says, on LeBum, Jeff, the sad part is he does a lot of good stuff for charity, etc., but he gets overlooked by his look at me attitude. And I think that's for a lot of people, yes. I see you shaking your head.
Yes, that is exactly what happens with LeBron.
I mean, he does do a lot of good things, but he wants to make sure everybody knows about it. And I know that's where a lot of you are bothered by it. Dan's in on UNLV football. He says UNLV football equals Lobo basketball, Jeffrey, Juan Jose, and Derek Charles. The Rebs were going to be improved every season going back as far as I can remember. They've had some players, dude. Does it feel them in Colorado State in New Mexico, every year their quarterbacks get hurt, they're down to 3 and 4 quarterbacks?
They've been in that mix.
Right.
They were wondering who's going to start at quarterback. The challenges, New Mexico and UNLV football-wise have been similar over the years.
Talent, promise, injuries, out. All right, NFL camps will open next week as well. You heard Patrick Mahomes say at the ESPYs yesterday, I'm going back to work. We're going to camp next week. How important is a star running back? The deadline is Monday for guys who franchise tag to come to an agreement on a new deal. Otherwise, they play on the franchise tag if they sign it. So their options are to sit out or play on the franchise tag. There's no more negotiating after Monday, the 17th. Saquon Barkley says it is very undesirable for him to play on the franchise tag. It's $10+ million a year. Diana Rossini from ESPN is reporting that his availability for Week 1 against the Cowboys will be in serious question if he doesn't get a long-term deal. My first question is, Why? What does it matter? I'm paying you $10 million to be my running back. You're not going to be ready for week 1 unless I give you a long term. Like, give me the correlation. I'm struggling with that.
He doesn't want to play on a 1-year deal.
Okay, but he'll play week 2 and week 6 and week 7, but not week 1.
Maybe not.
I'm pretty sure the contract's going to say that you play the whole year. So does he get docked?
Well, he doesn't have to sign it.
He does not have to sign it. No, that's right.
So that's where your availability becomes in question.
Does he get docked a game check if he doesn't play?
No, because he's not under contract.
Okay, but if he signs the franchise deal, that's interesting. Okay, what if he doesn't have to sign the franchise deal by the 17th, correct? He can sign that whenever? The franchise tag?
Yeah, he doesn't have to sign it.
So what if he signs that 2 or 3 weeks in? Is it prorated?
I think so.
But he would be losing money. You wrote some notes here, and this is really, really, really interesting. And I don't know how I've watched you approach this differently over the last bunch of years. And I'm well aware that your fantasy football team does not equate to what an NFL roster is. But it kind of does parallel the change of football. It's been, you've got to get running backs in fantasy football. It's always been, because there's just not a lot, right? Running backs were always the highest, most valuable thing. I've watched how you've drafted over the last bunch of years, and you've got a lot of receivers. There's still a real big thought. You've got to have a running back. You've got to have a guy. You've got to have a guy. DC, when was the last Super Bowl champion with a 1,000-yard rusher? Do you know? And do you know who it was?
I'm wondering if it's Leonard Fournette, but I don't think so.
It was not. No. It says right here, and JJ put this together so I know it's right. LeGarrette Blount of the 2016 Patriots was the last Super Bowl champion with a 1,000-yard rusher. Okay, 16 players rushed for 1,000 yards last year. 16 running backs. How many of those made the playoffs? How many of those teams, right?
Maybe half.
Not even.
Not even?
6 of the 16. What JJ's point is how important really is a running back?
It's the running game, not the player.
Correct. Running back by committee. If I can find 3 guys that are going to get me what your 1 or 1.5 guys are, I don't have to pay them as much, and I'm getting the productivity out of it. Why do I have to pay Saquon Barkley $13 million and give him a 5-year deal?
You don't. I mean, say you're going to run 500 running plays. You just have to find 3 guys to do it.
And that's the challenge, and this is the separation between what these running backs are trying to fight for, which is a losing battle on their end, versus the reality of if you have a Saquon Barkley, a Josh Jacobs, that's very nice. But overcommitting to that specific position is bad business for football teams.
And it's a bummer for running backs, right? Because it's somewhat of a glory position.
It is. There's games where, you know what, after the center and quarterback, you touch the football more than anyone else.
Or at least the position does. How many, if I went through this right now, Breece Hall, is he one? If I said that this is a team that's got a clear-cut number 1, would you say Breece Hall of the Jets? He was hurt. It's hard to, right? Joe Mixon, certainly. Chubb, Cleveland, certainly. Jonathan Taylor, certainly with Indianapolis, is 3. Derrick Henry is 4. The Broncos have one?
We got a guy that, like, coming off an injury.
He was injured. It's hard for me to go there. Josh Jacobs with the Raiders. Austin Eckler with the Chargers. All right, so 6 in the AFC. Are you calling Tony Pollard one?
To be determined.
Yay or nay? I'm going to say yes because they're franchising him. So 7. Saquon is 8. Philly doesn't have one. Washington doesn't have one. Bears don't have one. Lions don't have one. Packers, Aaron Jones? 9. Dalvin Cook was, but he's not there anymore. Falcons, Bijan Robinson, should we count him? I mean, he was a first-round pick. All right, 10. Carolina doesn't. Kamara is 11. Tampa Bay, I don't think Fournette I put in that category.
He's not even on the roster anymore.
Right. Cardinals, Rams, Niners have McCaffrey, so there's 12. There's 12 out of 32 that you would say that's a first round pick running back in your fantasy draft.
With fantasy projections, it's across the board. It's basically all first round is running back. But I think that's slightly strategic.
Well, I think it's also because then you run out of them. Then you got to fill those spots, and there's no one left. It's really kind of a crazy shift in the National Football League. How you had to have a running back. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be running backs. I mean, it's kind of what it is, right?
And it's the reality that because you're going to use these guys so much that injuries do happen, you realize, well, we can spread out this production at a cheaper price than just this one position, and so it's about the running game and not the running back.
And you have a 53-man roster, so if you have one guy that can take 2/3 of the runs, then you don't have to have 5-man room, and then that opens you up on special teams or maybe another position of need. So it's interesting because that leading running back is going away, but there is a lot of value in roster construction.
No doubt. No, 100%. And versatility is a big deal. All right, when we come back, so how important is the receiving room? Well, obviously quite important. And there's a quarterback who's trying to make a huge comeback this year. Does he have maybe the sneakiest good wide receiver core? There's no more excuses for this high-paid quarterback to not get it done. And I'll tell you why when we come back. You got an alarm at your business. You got an alarm at home. You got cameras. You got all kinds of stuff, and it's probably not enough. International Protective Service, IPS, is that extra layer that I suggest that you look into. It is affordable private security. I have trusted IPS to watch my home for years. Hundreds of homeowners and business owners throughout Albuquerque and Santa Fe trust IPS as well. Don't wait to be a victim of vandalism or theft. Call IPS to see what they can do for you. They offer standing guards and 24-hour patrols to protect your business. They respond quickly to alarms. They prevent loss and damage to your property. It's private security, and it can save you money. Call IPS. Ask them about what they can do for you. 897-2420. That's 505-897-2420. Or you can visit them online. It's ipsglobal.com. IPS, making Albuquerque a better and a safer place to live and work.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area.
In the NFL. First and foremost, you're shaking your head back there. Do you, JJ, do you buy the receiving room of the Denver Broncos is one of the best receiving cores?
Best? I don't.
One of the, what? Not the best. No. They're not the best. Are they one of them? They're good, right?
Yes.
Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, KJ Hamler. Marquez Callaway's there.
I think that's a solid group of receivers.
Right. No excuses, right? If they stay healthy, and that's Cortland Sutton has been struggling to stay healthy. Jerry Jeudy was on the trade block, but he's got all the weapons he needs, does he not? You got a tight end who kind of came into his own in Dulcich. If Javonte Williams is healthy, and I think that's a big if. Because would you get Samaje Perine to back him up? It's a good receiving core. It's good enough for them to be like they can't
like that offense should be competitive. It just doesn't feel good enough to overtake the other teams in the AFC. But that all comes down to if you're getting a Russell Wilson with anything.
So I think there's only one team in the AFC West that's just clearly better than them, and that's the Chiefs. I know everybody wants to love on the Chargers, and everybody should. Brandon Staley's still their coach. Are they the team that's just going to stick it up everybody's backside this year and say, here we are? Kellen Moore's here, and we're changed. Because they went out and made some moves. Their receiving core is insane. We talked about yesterday, Kellen Moore just loves all the big receivers that the Chargers have. That they're just, I mean, not only is it Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, but they went out and got Quentin Johnson, and I mean, they're big. Josh Palmer and is still there. Gerald Everett turned into a really nice tight end for them. Better receiving core, Chargers or Broncos?
Chargers.
Okay. So I'm going to go back because, DC, I know when I had this conversation with you, you said you heard that the Broncos have such a good receiving core, and you kind of shook your head.
Yeah, I don't see a single number one on there. Of all the guys you listed, there is one 1,000-yard season. I hear a bunch of twos. Greg Dulcich is nice. He doesn't block. So you got Albert O, who will do some blocking.
Well, it's
Mr. Okwuegbunam.
It's really interesting because I think they're
Who's
good.
throwing them the football?
Well, 100%. It's Russell Wilson. I look around. All right. If I said to you, what's a really mediocre? Give me a mediocre team in the NFL. If I said Chicago Bears, would that fit that bill, or would that be less than mediocre? Are the Bears what the Broncos are?
I have some faith in the Bears.
All right. Who's got a better receiving core? What I just read, Jeudy and Patrick and Cortland Sutton, or DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool, Equanimous St. Brown. What's better? Cole Kmet's your tight end.
Yeah.
It's how much weight you put on DJ Moore.
I think DJ Moore is
because I would take.
Would you take Jeudy?
I would take the Broncos.
You would
over the Bears.
Darnell Mooney's good, but he can't stay healthy. Claypool, I think, is over. I would take the Broncos over the Bears too, but I don't think it's cut and dry. Give me another. I mean, Packers. Jordan Love's throwing them the football. Do you like them instead of Christian Watson, who really came on? He's my one fine keeper. Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed. Broncos?
I'd say flip a coin.
Kind of, right?
Yep. And I mean, listen, we're comparing non-playoff teams here.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
I mean, I'm not giving you the teams that are great teams. I'm giving you teams that are kind of like you. Browns. I think Amari Cooper has kind of been one of the most overrated receivers.
He's the most underrated receiver in the NFL.
Do you think so?
Absolutely. Just because he played for the Cowboys, Cowboy fans lost their mind. That dude
even
is a
Raiders,
play-making machine.
He's good. I think he's great, but okay, we'll
he's a play-making machine.
He's good.
I'd take him over any of the Broncos.
Fair. I would too. And then they have Elijah
most
Moore.
Underrated receiver in the game.
All right. Elijah Moore, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Njoku. Who's got a better core there? Browns or Broncos?
Browns.
Because they have a better number one?
Better number one, better tight end. They have a number one.
I mean, you want who's your number one? Is it Cortland Sutton or is it Jerry Jeudy? Who's your number one? That's the reality. You don't have one. So pick one, and then you say like Elijah Moore and Donovan Peoples-Jones better than the other two.
KJ Hamler doesn't even play. I mean, he's always hurt. He's already questionable for this year. Tim Patrick, good hands, but he's not a speedster. You know.
All right, New Orleans Saints. Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, Rashid Shaheed, they're all hurt. And Traquan Smith. Their tight end you love, Juwan Johnson. I know that. Who's better? And everybody's kind of got good receivers, right?
That's where the depth is in the NFL with skill players and playmakers. We talk about running back. Like there's receivers. The one thing too with the Broncos, like I can't sit here and look at the numbers and be like, well, they don't have a 1,000-yard receiver. They were running Joe Flacco, Drew Lock, and Teddy Bridgewater out there for 3 years.
Well, and Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson last year was a disaster.
Who hasn't been any better than those guys? Yeah.
And I don't think that's a wide receiver's fault, Dimmer.
I agree with you. 100% agree with you.
So to me, when I look at it, and if Sean Payton bringing a system like last year was a disaster from top to bottom. Like that Tuesday morning after Monday Night Football with Nathaniel Hackett, you knew that season was over. That lost to the Seahawks.
Yes, you did.
Like you knew that, and people thought you were crazy for saying that. No, you knew that season was over.
That was an insane morning in here, by the way.
Oh, you should have seen it in Denver.
Well, it was probably similar here, but a lot more insane up there, right? Do you remember that morning?
Yes.
That was the grossest. And Anne Marie was at that game, wasn't she? Wasn't that the game she was at? And she went up there. I don't know.
That was the Colts one.
Oh, fair enough. Another gross game. Yeah. It was disgusting.
That was the worst game of the season, I think, against Colts.
Well, but the one you're talking about was over. It was over. You're like, who's this? What kind of head coach do I have? What are we doing? No. All right. 505-246-0610. You got an excuse for Russell Wilson? Bronco fan, I know you're there. And I got two of them here. One of them kind of believes that there's going to be a Russell Wilson comeback.
If he can't be competitive this season,
he's done
with solid enough weapons.
Yes.
A coach that is going to maximize who he is right now at this point in his career with that offense.
Yeah.
Then there's no more waiting.
Yeah. All right, when we come back, one of the best golfers in the world, quote, I wouldn't play live golf if it's the last option on earth. This is going on, and it's going on in a real way. Who is it? And why did he say it? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
This report.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at U.S. Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with U.S. Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with U.S. Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what?
Well, the British Open, or the Open Championship, if you prefer, next week at Royal something. That means the Scottish Open is this week. That's kind of the tune-up to the Open Championship. And the LIV PGA conversation continues because, of course, Senate and Congress is involved. And if Saudi Arabia's public investment fund had its way, you heard this week that Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy would have partially owned and captained teams in LIV. Right? Once there was this merger, they both would have joined forces, and Rory and Tiger would have had a team. The problem is Tiger hadn't played in how long? Does it matter if he just has to captain a team and walk around?
Captain.
And Rory, the third-ranked player in the world, would not have been interested. This is Rory today at the Scottish Open in wherever the Scottish Open is played, somewhere in Scotland. Quote, if LIV was the last place to play golf on earth, I would retire. That's how I feel about it. I'd play the majors, but I'd be pretty comfortable, end quote. He's not backing off. How does he say it? I hate it. Hate. How does he say hate? Hate. I love his accent. Remember the possibility of Woods and McIlroy owning teams was introduced by the PIF advisors during the slideshow presentation at the PGA Tour Policy Board. And it was amongst the records which were released this week in the U.S. Senate Permanent Subcommittee on Investigation, which held this whole hearing. The records also included and suggested that McIlroy met with Prince Al Ramayan in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates in November. In last month's Canadian Open, Rory McIlroy said he had previously played golf with Al Ramayan at the Pro-Am in Dubai. Quote, I was with him at a Formula One race randomly a couple years ago in Austin. I saw him in Dubai at the end of last year. So he's obviously been in and around the golf world and obviously the wider sports world. He runs in the same circles as a lot of people that I know, end quote. But sounds like he's denying he ever met with them. If it was the last place, I guess this isn't going to happen. I mean, he can't go back on that now, right?
No.
If it was, I wouldn't play if it was the last option on earth. He can't go back on that, right?
Oh, man, if he does, it looks really bad. So, no, he can't.
And he's kind of been tempering what he's saying. He still hits it. Hits it. Hit. I think it was hit. I hit it.
That sounds close.
Hit. Open. The Scottish is today. Look, I'm kind of interested on how that's playing out, by the way. All right, when we come back, you like him a lot. I mean, I like him. I don't know that I think he's the most underrated receiver in football, but is he the key to turning around a franchise and a quarterback who basically hasn't played a full season in 3 years? Is he the most underrated receiver in football? He's good, and he's a former Cowboy. It's next on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
For your business or
is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future, get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Maybe we should just say every day, well, lucky for you, we're still here. Lucky for you, we came to work today. ESPYs last night, how'd you like them? LeBron was honored by his family, which I thought was beautiful. I know some of you are upset. LeBron got honored by his wife. What do you want his wife to say? I thought it had the potential to be an unbelievably great moment. Bring the family up there, honor him for being the all-time leading scorer. And then he told you that you will respect him. And he put his crown on. And lucky for you that he's not retiring yet. So lucky for you, we're still here, JJ. That's what I'm saying. What's up, Mary? Whatever day it is, it's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, and DC. 505-246-0610 is the phone line here at the Sports Animal and the text line. You can send emails. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. All right, we're talking a lot of NFL today. I like Amari Cooper. I don't know that I think he's the most underrated receiver in the league. You do, and I respect that. I don't know that I got a great argument against it. Because I don't know who I would tell you I think is the most underrated receiver in the NFL. Is he the key for Deshaun Watson to bounce back to be what Deshaun Watson is being paid to do? Deshaun Watson was at his inaugural Deshaun Watson Foundation High School 7-on-7 tournament. Quote, Amari is going to be good. He's a guy that's a vet, been in the league for a while. So he knows exactly what he needs to do to be ready for the season and training camp, and our chemistry is going to be tight. Cooper caught, that was the end of the quote. Cooper caught 78 passes for 1,106 yards, 9 touchdowns 6 of those games are with Deshaun Watson. Is he the key?
He's the key for Deshaun Watson because he's going to be a security blanket. He's going to be the number one target, get out of trouble. Where is Amari Cooper? You have that trust. It's going to continue to open up things for that offense because Deshaun Watson has the talent. He's not coming back from a major injury, a shoulder, an elbow issue, and knee. It was time away because he's a messy person. But the reality is he is playing quarterback. He is a starting quarterback in the NFL. And so you have to have the discussion of how good is that team going to be, whether you like Deshaun Watson or not.
So you were off last week, and DC and I had this conversation. And I prefaced it. I think the beginning of the conversation was biggest X factors in the NFL this year. X factor meaning high ceiling, low floor. And to me, it was a no-brainer, inarguable, biggest X factor in the NFL this year is Deshaun Watson. Like I don't have anybody else for you. Now there were other conversations, Russell Wilson and Derek Carr and all kinds of quarterbacks, and
but those guys can never be as good as how good Deshaun Watson still can be.
Those guys can never be as. I agree.
If this
with that.
was Russell Wilson 5 years ago, different conversation.
I think that's right. Do you agree that he's the biggest X factor in the league? He can be fantastic. And again, that's the sneaky team. Start looking at their roster now. Look what they've done defensively. Look what they put together on the defensive side, what they've been drafting over the years. You love Amari Cooper as a number one. I think the rest of the receiving core is okay. And Njoku, when he's healthy, is very good. They've got a stud running back in Nick Chubb. Their defense, I mean, look up front now. I mean, just start with Myles Garrett, but this is Darius Smith and Dalvin Thompson, and they're really good. They could be really, really good.
They also have a stout offensive line.
Yeah.
They have all the pieces for him to break out, like you said.
That's what I'm saying. And so 3 years, basically 3 years, right? Because he played 6 games last year, which just felt like he didn't even play. He sat out the whole previous year, and the year before, didn't they kind of shut him down? His last year in Houston?
Yeah, because of everything that was happening.
Right? So he hadn't really played. I mean, that's 3 seasons off. And we've watched so many great quarterbacks. Every conversation you have about quarterback, everyone, who are the great quarterbacks in the league? I never hear the highest paid quarterback in the league, the most guaranteed money guy, mentioned in the conversation. Do you? Do you ever? It's Mahomes and it's Allen and it's Burrow and it's all right. You ever hear this guy's name? Now I don't know if it should be or not. Cleveland thinks so. 3 years ago, you would have said so. Who would you rather have right now, Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson? And you don't know, right? I don't know how good he's going to be. Who would you take?
I would probably lean towards Lamar.
Who would you take?
Deshaun Watson.
Okay. I don't know that there's a wrong answer right now. No, I mean, I think there'll be a defined answer in 8, 10, 12, 15 weeks.
With Deshaun Watson, it was out of sight, out of mind, just wasn't playing.
Yeah.
And, it's one where for Deshaun Watson, it's not necessarily, he was playing and he was bad. He just wasn't. Even like a good player not playing for that extent of time, you're not immediately going to flip the switch.
Physically, so what you're saying is physically he doesn't have the wear and tear on him. We had this conversation about Colin Kaepernick. Well, he's out 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. How good is he going to be? This guy's been working out and played a little bit. How much, and I know you and I tend to differ on this, how much does the mental stuff, the above-the-shoulder stuff play in? The stuff that he's going to hear, the stuff that he's been through, the questions that have been brought up about him, and I wonder if he has them about himself. Does that play into his development? Does that limit how good he can be? Or do you think that's just whatever, you put it away, you're a pro, and you develop physically?
I don't think that's going to be as big of a question this year because he's had a full off season to be with a team, not like in a facility, working with his teammates, working in offense training camp, as opposed to last year when you couldn't be a football player.
I think that's fair. I think it's going to really depend on who the young man is and who he's surrounding himself with. I don't know anything about his mental strength, his intelligence, his capability. Now, the easy answer is, well, if he succumbed to what he succumbed to and did what he was accused of doing, then how mentally strong is he? And I would argue, I'm not sure. I think the two correlate. Right? If you had to lay money, and I don't know how we're going to judge this, to say that he is going to be in the top 8 in quarterback ratings, meaning what's our quarterback metric these days? There's a couple of them, right? There's QBR and there's whatever ESPN came up with, and none of them make sense to me. When the perfect score is like 152.4, we've got a flawed product, don't we? Isn't that what QBR is? If the perfect score is 152.4, isn't that what it was? Something stupid like that?
Yeah, it was a random number.
We got a flawed product. But if I was to say, okay, over under, he is going to be top 7.5. Would you go better or worse than that when the season's over as far as quarterback stats, touchdown passes, yardage, add rushing yards, interception to touchdown percentage, all that? Take win-loss out of it for a second. Is it going to be a top 7.5? You going over or under that? It's hard, right?
It's hard because that's kind of where I picture him top 10.
That's why I put the number. That's why I'm really good at this.
You should respect him.
You will respect me. I mean, you're looking right now. You're going, okay, who am I putting above him, aren't
you? I'll take the over.
So you're saying he's going to be a top 7 quarterback in the NFL? Where are you going?
See, I was thinking closer to 10.
Okay, so you're going under.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to go under just because I think it's tough to come back, and I think that there's going to be, you're saying, okay, like who do I think will be better? Right? And there's going to be a few that come out of nowhere, but I think, like your obvious ones are Mahomes and Burrow and Allen, and probably even Aaron Rodgers, and I think Derek Carr's going to be good. I think Gino might be better. I think Goff might have better numbers. Lamar might have better numbers. Herbert's going to have better numbers, right? So do they make the playoffs? Do they make the playoffs, which is really going to be the biggest testament of him? When we went through this the other day, right? Because I think everybody's got almost the same way across, right? Most people have Kansas City, Jacksonville, Cincinnati, and Buffalo winning the AFC divisions, correct? Is that who you have?
Yes.
Okay. Kansas City, Jacksonville, Baltimore, and Miami. I'm sorry, Buffalo. That means you got 3 teams out of this group, which is the rest of them, to make the playoffs. So that means you're throwing Cleveland in there with the Jets and the Dolphins and the Chargers and the Broncos and the Steelers and the Ravens. 3 of those teams are going to make it. Cleveland Browns make the playoffs this year. And it's the biggest wild card X factor, period.
I'd say it'd be a pretty big disappointment if they didn't.
I think it will be a big disappointment if they don't. Right? They paid the guy $250 million. Will they make it?
Yes.
Where are you? I'm going to say they're just on the outside looking in. I think they're in the fight down to the last 2 weeks. I think they're just going to miss out. As I sit here today, I look at it and I would say, gosh, Miami, the Jets, Baltimore, the Chargers.
If Deshaun Watson is playing that good,
yeah,
it's not just, can they make the playoff? They can win the division then.
Yeah, they can. See, what I'm telling you is I don't have the belief that I think he's going to be that good. Now, he might be the year after. I think this is going to be a really interesting year. And I think we're going to have a really interesting conversation late this season and going into next offseason about him, where he's going to be their quarterback because they're tied to him. They guaranteed him the money. But I think conversation is going to be, how is he going to be in 2024? I think he's going to be fine this year. I don't believe, and I'll sit here and admit I could be totally wrong on this. I think he's going to be fine. I think you're going to see glimpses. Whoa, that's why they did it. And there are going to be glimpses like, whoa, that's the guy who sat out 3 years. And I think he's going to win some games, and there's going to be some games that I think he's going to be fine. I think this is almost like a reboot year for him. And I have nothing to go on. There's no precedent on this, right? That's just my gut. Is that way out of left field on this?
No.
Now you could be dead right. He could be top 7 and he could be terrific and make the Pro Bowl.
With Deshaun Watson, how much was he able to get out of his system last year of just getting comfortable again?
Yeah.
Because leading up to when he started playing, did he only have like 2 weeks in the team facility? Because when he was suspended, he wasn't able to be working out at the team facility doing those things. And so was last year, was that enough for him to come back and be a good quarterback right out of the gate?
Yeah. It goes back to literally how we started this. It is the biggest unknown. It is the biggest X factor of the NFL this year.
Because the way that team is set up.
Yeah.
Have, I know we're talking about the running back position, but they got one of the rare studs in Nick Chubb. DC mentioned, that's a good offensive line. You got a number 1 wide receiver, defensive playmakers.
Yep.
It's set to go right out of the gate.
All right. When we come back, y'all want to get rid of Daniel Snyder. So does the NFL. And they did. Or did they? Legal issues might threaten to complicate the deal, and somehow it all pertains to John Gruden? The hell is going on? That's next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Registration.
Mitch, there's a line drive right at the shortstop for out number 3.
Apodaca ripped to left field. That will bounce in, so it's going to be extra bases as they'll have to chase that one at the wall in the warning track. Flipped up, there's no play at home. So it's an RBI double for Andrew Apodaca. Runner at third. High leverage spot. Can Chavez keep the tie? No, that's going to be cracked into left field. It's a base hit as Love puts the Sandia Matadors ahead for the first time today.
The 0-2. It's upstairs, goes to the backstop, and the run will not score. Gun down at home.
Chavez rocks and fires. Ahmed, that's going to be an RBI for Ahmed as that one right through the gap in right center. Petrie will scoop that one, and it's looking like a triple as Ahmed plugs into third base, and what a way to score that run for the Matadors.
Coach Romero barking out his orders there to his players. He's been around the game for a long time. Nice shot to center field. That'll bring runners in. Just like that, La Cueva will bring 3 runners in to go up 3-0. Runner advances to third. Shot to center. That looks good. That's gone. Man, outstanding center shot there. Is La Cueva will score. Antonio Lucero, second baseman. Quite the hitter. Shot to third, and good catch. And she gets the out. Outstanding play by Trinity Bazan. Nice bright spot.
Costly errors allowed Cleveland to get one run back. That one sit on the ground to the left side. Throw to first in time. Throw home. Got her! Whoa, what a play!
Next door or something. Not sure, but they came out here, and Ellison cracks an RBI out to left field. That's where you got to do it. 1 run, 2 run, and this game could very well be over. It's a play at the plate. It's sliding, and that will do it. The Rams walk off the La Cueva Bears. It's a 3-run batted in shot by Dean Ellison.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Commanders have been sold. Remember, you got they're sold. They just need approval, and not so fast, my friends. Good morning to you. Opening drive: Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck, and Derek Charles. Or is it Derek Charles? DC. NFL owners are going to meet next week. They vote on the sale of the Washington Commanders from Daniel Snyder to that group that's led by Josh Harris, who owns the Sixers and the Devils. A mere $6.05 billion. You could buy some Taylor Swift tickets with $6.05 billion, huh?
I think that could get you about 3 seats at the concert.
Maybe 4. I think you can get a full 4. Maybe even some nice seats and some parking for $6.05 billion. Washington Post is reporting this morning that there's legal issues threatening to complicate this deal. And it's kind of crazy where it goes. So this is out of the Washington Post, quoting the Post now. According to one of the people with knowledge of the deliberations, the complications are related, at least in part, to legal issues pertaining to the leaking of emails that led to the October 2021 resignation of John Gruden as coach of the Raiders. That person describes the complications as significant and not just some small snag, expressing the view that the issues could delay the owner's approval of the sale and the closing of the deal if they're not resolved. But the person also left open the possibility that Snyder and his attorneys merely are attempting to extract last-minute concessions from the NFL on legal indemnification related to Gruden's lawsuit against the league. And the issues will be resolved in time for owners to ratify the deal next Thursday. So that's in the Post. So the Post says that Snyder's not seeking indemnification from the other owners of the league. So, okay, all of a sudden we're back to the John Gruden thing. Gruden resigned in 2021 when the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times revealed these emails where Gruden and longtime commentator, I mean, you know who he was, used the racist, sexist, homophobic language and slurs in reference to Roger Goodell and to DeMaurice Smith and whatever. Does this feel you like Daniel Snyder just trying to extend that? Like, why? Make him go away. Make him go away. Why am I sitting here in a legal battle with this?
Because John Gruden is in a battle with the NFL.
I got that.
Showing that, Dan Snyder and maybe even the NFL were involved in trying to cover up things for Daniel Snyder and make John Gruden look bad. When it backfired and made Daniel Snyder look terrible.
It would make me want to get rid of him even.
And John Gruden, because this is something that it's going to be messy, because he said to ESPN this week that he insists he will not settle his lawsuit.
Who did?
John Gruden with the NFL, and he intends to burn the house down.
Well, I'll bet he's got a big old gas can of fuel to burn the house down. Wouldn't you think if someone's got some dirt on the NFL?
Well, especially, John Gruden, like, if I'm going down, I'm taking everyone with me. Because no one feels sorry for John Gruden.
No.
Like, you put that out there, what do you think's going to happen?
Well, Gruden, though, Gruden was at the height of popularity in the NFL. Gruden was, is it a stretch to say, was Barkley like in the NFL? Everybody loves what Charles Barkley has to say. You always want to hear it. Is it a stretch to say when before this all went down and before he went back to coach, is it a stretch to say he was Barkley? What he said, people kind of...
He was a very likable media figure.
And if anybody, between being a Super Bowl winning coach, a broadcaster that had that platform, if anybody's going to have some dirt, it's going to be him, don't you think? I think he can burn the house down. If he wants to, I think 100% he can. Yeah, this is misery. And it's misery for the NFL. And there's always something, isn't there? There's always something as you go into camp. There's always something off the field that is there to yell and scream about. And I think that might be it. All right, if you missed it, the ESPYs yesterday, the Chiefs were the top team. The ESPYs, they were honored. If you caught the ESPYs, I know we brought this up early in the show, but the audience completely changes. If you caught the ESPYs last night, I'd love your thoughts on it too. But you know what we didn't hit yesterday on the All-Star game, on the aesthetics? I normally don't care what you wear. How bad were the uniforms for the National League? Black pants, blue jerseys.
Okay.
I would argue all-time worst. Well, why? Okay, I understand why they make them wear jerseys, and forever they're cleaning his shoes. Kind of cool. I want that project. I would argue. I don't think you would argue against me. The All-Star game was great when you wore your own uniform. Home team, National League would have worn the home team was the American League. They wore home whites. And the American League, they wear their road grays, and everybody, like, what was wrong with that?
Just more stuff to sell, Jeff.
I get it. And
that's all it is.
Who the hell's buying that?
By going to the All-Star game.
By the way, you could do that for batting practice, and you could do that for all the pre-stuff, and it was horrible. And I normally don't care, like, whatever. I've long got over the Major League Baseball teams wear softball uniforms. Right? What looked more beer league than that? They were the worst looking uniform. Like, honestly, give me a worse uniform, period. The old White Sox when they wore shorts and those collared shirts. All right, I'll buy that.
Great.
Yeah. All right, you want to go back to the 70s? The White Sox had the collared shirts and the shorts. I'll give you that. Give me a worse looking uniform since. The Astros and all those colors aren't worse. We Are Family Pirates weren't worse. Come on, man. This is your showcase. And granted, I'm not your demo. And so if your kids loved it, I'm listening. And if your kids said, Dad, I need to get a National League jersey because they're really cool. And I don't even know that I think the jerseys were that bad. Navy blue with black pants looked like it just looked like a bad movie. Not that I was able to watch the whole damn game because it was blacked out on my DirecTV, but whatever.
Yeah, usually you don't wear black and blue together like that. So it did look very strange.
It was horrible, man. Like, that's the worst thing Rob Manfred's done, I think. If you want to get mad at the commissioner, damn it, that's why you should get mad at the commissioner. That's where I am. All right, 505-246-0610 is the Sports Animal text line and phone line, 505-246-0610. He's a unicorn and he just got extended. Not the unicorn, but his contract. Pretty good numbers for a guy who's been bouncing around and I think makes a huge difference after getting traded. Talk a little NBA stuff next and Kristaps' new deal. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Registration is now open.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area.
Chris Paul. Watching what's going to happen with Damian Lillard. What's going to happen with Damian Lillard, by the way? Is there a chance he stays in Portland? Is there a chance they just say, you know what, figure it out. We're going to bring someone in. It doesn't get done. We're not, because he wants to go to Miami. I just don't see the scenario where Miami figures out that where Portland decides, yeah, that's the deal we want. Here's whatever Miami's got. And unless they get a third and maybe even a fourth team involved, I'm not sure how they fulfill that for him.
It's just everyone standing out in front of the saloon,
right?
Pointing at each other, figuring out who's going to make the first move.
Do you think there's a chance he stays? I do.
For a little while, yes.
Yeah, I do too. Kristaps Porzingis.
Porzingis.
It's really good, actually. Celtics got him. And I think he makes a difference for the Celtics. I think a nice year quietly with Washington last year, and the Celtics get him. He signed a 2-year extension, $60 million. So he's got 3 years at 96. He exercised his $36 million option for this year to be included in that 3-team trade. They got rid of Marcus Smart. He's 27. He's coming off the best season of his NBA career. He averaged 23 plus, 8.5 rebounds, and a block and a half. I don't know, man. It's a lot of money, but it seems market-wise, that's a pretty good deal for the Celtics, I think.
It's a very good deal for the Celtics. I like the way Kristaps Porzingis is coming at this. From a hype train, he was the franchise savior for the New York Knicks. Wasn't that, but he is still a really good basketball player. And now he's the number 3 for the Boston Celtics. And he is going to flourish. He's going to maximize that role. And especially, his mindset. And he said, quote, "You are physically there and mentally there. You are getting to a different level. I think the work paid off for me," about where he's at in his basketball career. And that's what you want to hear, is a guy that's thought about things on and off the court, understands who he is, that is bettering himself. And he also pointed out, and I know this is a big concern with Kristaps Porzingis, is he said, "I looked at how I could be more efficient and just really analyze myself, all the work I put in off the court to stay healthy."
So I'm going to put it in this perspective for you. Okay. You can argue that there are better 1-2s in the league than what the Celtics have. If you want to say Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, are they as good as Devin Booker and Kevin Durant? If you can tell me Phoenix is better, I'll listen to you. Are they as good as Anthony Davis and LeBron James? We got an argument. Are they as good as Steph and Clay? We can have a conversation, right? Probably the answer is yes. Are they better than Murray and Jokic? Okay. Give me a better number 3 in the league than Kristaps Porzingis right now. Who's a better number 3? And so if you're going to tell me the Celtics top 2 are in the conversation amongst the best top 2 in the league.
How do you feel about Bradley Beal?
I don't know that I think Bradley Beal stays healthy enough. I entertain that. I think that's a really good one. He's in Phoenix. He'd be the number 3 to Booker and Durant.
Well, the Celtics are throwing it back about 10 years when a big 3 was the thing. We've seen the Celtics and Suns.
But my point is, okay, if we're going to have a conversation about, we love, who's the best duo and all this. Okay, so this is how I'm looking at it as far as value. And this is why I said to you, I think this is really good for the Celtics. Bradley Beal's a good one. You got another one?
Boston Celtics. The only question is, who's going to be the heart of that team?
Because Marcus Smart's gone.
Grit.
Yeah.
And
I think
it's
going to be
Jason
Brown.
Tatum.
I think it
has to be Jason Tatum.
I think it's going to be Jaylen Brown. I just don't know that I think that's who Jason Tatum is.
He's gonna have to morph into that.
So this goes into that conversation that we've had.
I don't think it's going to be Jaylen Brown.
Why?
Because he's the one that wanted that out for so long.
Okay, but if he doesn't get out and he's there, then he's got to play that role. See, you and I have had the conversation. Does the leader have to be the emotional soul of the team?
Or the best player?
I mean, does the best player have to be the emotional soul and the leader of the team? And we always settle on probably yes, right? We always settle, yeah. And I don't know that I think that that's what Jason Tatum is. Now, I do think he's their best player.
In this case, he has to be, because they don't have that.
Who do you think's more suited for it?
Because
him or Jaylen Brown?
I think Jason Tatum can do it. He's never really been asked to do it because we've always had the attitude, the grind of Marcus Smart, and so he's just kind of played his role as being one of the best players in the league, as opposed to now, all right, they made big time moves for a team that's been to the NBA Finals, that was in the conference finals last season. Like, they should be right back there.
No, I think so.
And so that's just my thing, is the locker room, the leadership, what it takes night in and night out to play at that level. Now you have to do it. Like, there's no, I don't know. Like, we'll find out if he can or not, because he really hasn't had to be that guy.
As currently constructed, they're the favorites in the East, right? With the addition of Porzingis, they're better to me than Milwaukee. They're better than Philly, who right now is Embiid and Tyrese Maxey and
maybe James Harden.
I don't think James Harden. They're better to me than what Miami is. And who else am I worried about? The Knicks? Like, what else am I worried about in the East? Seriously. To me, they're the favorite in the East. And seriously, that's why I look at it the way I do. Okay, they have one of the best duos. 1-2. And if you're going to tell me it's not the best, I agree with you. But throw in number 3, and who's better? Who's got a better top 3? Phoenix? Okay, I'm listening.
There's not many teams that have 3 players at that caliber.
Who's Golden State's after Steph? Who would you say is number 2 at this point in their world? Is it Wiggins? Because I know how you feel about Clay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Draymond, even though he's making all that money. Is it?
Because the thing with the Warriors, like Draymond and Clay are so important to who they are, but they're not in the same category talent-wise as other players.
They're not. No. That's why I say, is it Wiggins?
Yeah. Like, Wiggins has the talent, but we're talking about who the core players are. It's still Dre and Clay.
And that's where I would tell you, we go the other way. Does your emotional leader have to be your best player? The answer in that situation is, well, but if you got down to it, I would tell you Golden State's best player is their leader. While Draymond is the most vocal, when you think it comes down to nut cutting time, who do you think's got the biggest voice in that room, Steph or Draymond?
Well, you're getting that part involved is Draymond, because he knows how to attack it.
Yeah, but I'm not. He's not. I promise you, Draymond Green didn't punch the Steph Curry. He can punch
someone in the groin, though.
He can punch Jordan Poole all he wants and kick dudes in the groin, but he ain't touching Steph Curry. Because that's everybody knows where their bread's buttered, right?
Yeah, but I think it's also Dre's the emotional leader. Steph isn't of that team.
The emotional leader, I think that's right. But when it comes down to,
because what are we talking about?
Leading, like, okay, here's what needs to be done. Like when you need to have a players meeting, is Draymond or Steph the voice that people are listening to in that room? I'm going to guess it's Steph Curry. Now, I don't know. I'm not in that room. But I'm going to guess.
I bet it's a lot more Draymond than you want to acknowledge.
You might be right. No, you might be right. All right, I'll get you up to date on everything that's happened this morning and what people are going to be talking about around the water cooler and around lunch and wherever it is you go today. And we haven't gotten into this, JJ. What does it mean that Panama beat the United States men's national team in the semifinals of the Gold Cup? It's got to be soccer, right? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am a Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Check it out. What is it? It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future and get my paycheck early. I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say, people mean more.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western.
Text line from Terry, National League All-Star uniforms for your last segment yesterday. Which was more crappy? Well, that was when we were talking about how many poops a day should you take, the big study from UCLA. Yeah, I see what he did there. That was really cute. All right, what do you got to know as you go through your day today? The ESPYs were yesterday, and LeBron James told you that you will respect him and that that you are lucky that he's not retiring. Chiefs won the Team of the Year. Jamal Murray, Comeback Player of the Year. There was some really good stuff there. Rory McIlroy said today that he would retire before ever playing for LIV. If it was the last option on the earth to play golf, he would not play for LIV. And we are looking at a little bit of a snag in the sale of the Washington Commanders that we're trying to get through, and it has to do with John Gruden and Daniel Snyder. So that's kind of your big headlines today. Does baseball resume today or tomorrow? Do I get baseball tomorrow? Today? How long is this All-Star break? It's back at it tomorrow, Friday. And that's when the Ice Hopes will get back at it as well. All right. So USA loses to Panama. Men's soccer. This was in the semifinal of the Gold Cup. 1-1 was the final.
Snapdragon Stadium.
That's in San Diego. On the new campus of San Diego State. 5-4 in shootouts. What does it mean? Because everybody was all fired up. It meant a lot 2 days ago when they got into the semifinal. What does it mean now that they got knocked out? How big is this?
This tournament was the B team for the U.S. because they had just played the Nation League final. So all the guys that are playing overseas in Europe, the A squad were on that squad, that team. So this was all right, who can prove it? Who can potentially work their way into the A team, be in the World Cup mix over the next few years? So it was a good showing, but it's disappointing because of the expectations that they built up. And it's for the United States. Your B team's okay, but it's still not as good as the rest of the world. But these tournaments were...
Was it Panama's B team or is that their A team?
I was their A team.
Okay.
And you still, it was scoreless forever until extra time. And so it's one that when you build up expectations, the fans are going to be frustrated. But really, this tournament was more just about seeing who can be legitimate contributors, back up the A team over the next couple of years.
All right, so it really kind of sounds like not that big of a deal. Yeah. Right?
I think you're always disappointed when you lose at home because
Yeah.
you get to, feels like all the matches they play are in the United States. So,
All right. Who's Panama going to play in the final?
Mexico.
Oh, that would have been big, right? And it's in the United States. Would have been a Snapdragon again.
I don't know where the final would have been.
All right. Another thing that's coming out today, and if you're interested in uniforms, we're just talking about that. We hear about uniforms that don't change, right? Dallas Cowboys, Dodgers, Yankees pinstripes, iconic Green Bay Packers. They'll never change. But they alter, right? Everything alters. Little additions, slight alterations. And probably, would you say the Yankees pinstripes would be the most, I don't know if the word's iconic, but most recognizable uniform in American sports? Is there another one? Every sport's got a few. Like, to me, the best uniform in college football is USC's maroon, although UCLA's home, the blues are really good. Now, those in the South will tell you Alabama's are great. Notre Dame's.
Says the California guy.
No, that's right. But I love the Cardinal and Gold USC. I think they're beautiful. But Cowboys, the whites, right? Packers, Dodgers, Yankees pinstripes, Laker golds, right? But they're altered. So how do you guys feel about the advertising on uniforms? If you just accept that as part of, it was soccer and then it was WNBA and now, you got the little sponsor patch up on the shoulder in the NBA. Are you guys, have you gotten there with it?
I don't notice it when I'm watching like an NBA game.
Yeah, I'm all right with it on the NBA. I don't know that I'd like it on NFL. I'd really dislike it on Yankees.
I guess I've gotten to the point where it's not intrusive to me. Now, I've never liked, and this is how soccer does it, but
it's a billboard.
It is a billboard. You just don't know who like if you don't know the teams, you don't know the teams. Oh, look, Meow Wolf is playing State Farm Insurance, or whatever. Okay. Well, they got their little shield in there. Okay. But that's how it is. But for the NBA to have that little patch that says Rakuten or
Western
Union, UPS, whatever. And you understand why. The salaries that are insane, they've got to make money. Were you surprised when you saw how much it was to put your logo on the Yankees sleeve?
How much is it?
How much would you think? You've not seen this?
Like for the year?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think
you wanted to advertise on the Yankee jersey.
Star Insurance is going to be on the left shoulder, right here on the left, not the shoulder, the left sleeve of Yankee uniforms. Home and away, Star Insurance. How much do you think that is? It almost feels like a bargain in some respects, but it's a lot of money.
$1.5 million.
$25 million. $25 million. Like, if it doesn't tell you what the freaking margins are on insurance, and why they're fighting all these people whose homes are flooding in Vermont and falling off a cliff in California, that they got $25 million to put their logo on the Yankees. No, honestly, right? $25 million. The club noted in a press release that the new deal runs through the 2031 season. So that's, what is this, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 30, 9 years at $25 million. I mean, look, God bless them. But it blew my mind. I don't know, is that, but it's the Yankees. So I guess what the Blue Jays would get, 10 million. Okay. I don't find it intrusive. I just find it fascinating. Because I'm somewhat in that world, and I sell sponsorships for.
You understand patches.
Yeah, I understand patches. So when you buy a jersey, so I go out and buy a. Who's my Yankee that I want this year? Give me a Yankee I want.
Aaron Judge.
I want my Aaron Judge jersey. Does it come with the Star Insurance? Like when you buy from the MLB store, does it come with the patch on it?
If you buy the on-field jersey, it will.
So what will come with that?
Yep.
Do I care? I'm not a jersey guy. You're a jersey guy. Yeah,
fans will absolutely.
So will they take it off?
It would not look very good if you took it off. So
you're a jersey guy, right?
Yes.
You buy. Let's say Aaron Judge is your guy. You buy your Aaron Judge jersey, you get it. It's got a Star Insurance on. Does it bother you?
Probably not. But yeah, I'm thinking about my Denver jerseys with the Western Union, and at first I did not like it, but now I wear it without even thinking. So,
but those are they're almost non-intrusive. The you're talking about the Nuggets,
yes,
right? It's a little one right there on the collarbone, like it's almost non-intrusive.
And on the sleeve is kind of the same.
But I guess people wear soccer jerseys all the time, and they're all. I mean, unless you know, you don't know. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I might not know what a Brewers uniform looks like, but a guy's wearing a Brewers jersey. Oh, it's a Brewers. Because it says, you know why I know that? You know why? Because it says Brewers on it.
Brewers across your chest.
Right? If you're wearing a...
You really love Chevrolet. Oh, no, this is Manchester United jersey.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting. $25 million a year. How many Taylor Swift tickets can you buy with that?
I just don't see how they're going to make $155,000 a game on that.
That's my point. Right?
That is something. Crazy world we're in, that's for sure.
Jim Rome show is next. I heard with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is here at 4. Then we're back with award-winning radio tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Tomorrow's Friday? Holy smokes. Be good to each other. Adrian, great job today on the visual side. DC, wonderful work today. Thank you for being here. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Yeah, enjoy it. Be good to each other. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos,